Okay, so now that the channel's over 300 subscribers, I'm going to toss this out. So there are a number of different videos on YouTube, or there's a number of different things that I would like to say necessarily, possibly put on a platform like YouTube, but I can't because of YouTube's strict policies regarding those sorts of things. So with that being said, there's a lot of suggestions I get from you MFs that could never, ever go on YouTube. It would get the channel deleted. So that is why I want to suggest to you all about how you would feel right now about me making a Patreon for the channel. My idea is just that I would make it so that it would just be cheap. It would be like $1 a month, which is like the minimum that you can make a Patreon. And that would give you access to the bottom tier, which is where we'd upload every Sunday. I would upload a video to the Patreon, and it would be one of these videos that I can't put on YouTube, but you can watch it on Patreon if you just subscribe to it for $1 a month. Just something I'm throwing out there now that the channel's over 300 subscribers, and just something to think about. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Rank Everything, the show where we rank everything. Today, recommended by a nobody, we're going to be ranking all of the Bleach captains based on how freaky they are. This comes from the fact that right now I'm watching the 1,000-Year Blood War arc for Bleach, and I love it. So I thought of this. So our tiers for today are wholesome here at the bottom. These are characters that they're not freaky in any sense. They're just too wholesome for that. From there we have least. These characters who are the least freaky. Then we have maybe, possibly. This is like, there's some stuff going on here. There's some stuff going on here that's going to make me think certain ways. Then we have a Freakerton. These are characters who are pretty freaky. Freakertons even. And then up here we have Freaky Ah. These are characters who they kind of break the scale as far as what being freaky means. Let's get right into it. So first up we have Aizen, who is, if you watch the original Bleach series, he's the main villain of it all, and he does some freaky stuff in the thing where, like, his Shikai, its whole thing is that if you've witnessed his Shikai, you're underneath its you're underneath its spell, which is that he can just make you see and do anything that he can make you see or hear or believe anything that he wants, because that's how he does it in the beginning before everybody knew that he was a villain. Let's see. He joins forces with all the Arrancar, and he forms like the special Arrancar villains from the first series. That's pretty freaky. Then after that, he merges with the Hogyoku and becomes whatever the fuck he turns into by the end of the series before Ichigo takes him out. And so I think Aizen's a Freakerton. I'm going to put him up in Freakerton for now. This next guy, I don't know who he is, which means he must be a filler arc captain. So just based off of his appearance alone, this guy looks way too wholesome to be a freak. Then we have Byakuya. Byakuya is my favorite character in all of the series. He's always been my favorite character because he's an asshole at first, but then he turns into a pretty cool guy. So Byakuya, his thing is his Shikai and his Bankai. They both do the flower petal thing, which is just awesome, right? Like, the ability to turn your sword into a bunch of razor sharp things that look like cherry blossom petals and then kill people with that is pretty cool. That's also really freaky. So that gives him points right there. Let's see. I guess I never really fully understood why he chose to be an asshole to Rukia for all that time. But obviously it had to do with the fact that Byakuya's wife was Rukia's older sister, and some sort of, maybe it was just like he just couldn't bear to look at Rukia, so he was always just shitty to her. But then his wife's late passing was like, oh, please give Ruki a better life or something. Fucking no. Something like that. And so, I think, and this Byakuya is so like, he's pretty high and mighty whenever we first meet him. He carries himself very like properly. I'm gonna say he's probably like in the least category, something like that. Like really just like his. Captain Yamamoto. Captain Yamamoto is, I don't know. I mean, just like I remember because that's like the whole thing. Like it's like a subversion of expectations where like you see him and he walks through the K and you think he really is a frail old man, and then the first time we ever see him fight and he rips off his clothes and he's just fucking ripped, and his staff is actually his sword, and it's all really awesome. But Captain Yamamoto is an even bigger freak than I thought, especially watching 1,000 Year Blood War. He does some outrageous shit in that. I'm going to put him up in maybe, possibly. The next guy is another filler captain. So I don't know what his name is, but I mean, just based on his appearance, he's an old man, obviously. He also looks like he's done horrifyingly terrible things in his day. I'm going to put him in the least category for benefit of the doubt. Then we have Gin Ichimaru. So Gin really is like a devious son of a bitch throughout the whole series, of course, until like towards the end where other things happen. I'm not gonna try to spoil it for anybody, but I'm sure you'll. See, Gin. So his whole thing is that he was really him and Rangiku. They had like a thing going on. But for some reason, I don't know. It's really complicated, but it's okay. So Gin, he always had this devious ass smile on his face, so that gets him points. That's a freaky smile. And then, after that, it's kind of like he takes pleasure in like killing people who are like weaker than him. Like the very first time we ever meet him, and he fights the guy who guards the gate. I want to say his name was like Jinbei or something. I don't remember exactly. Or maybe it was like Jirobo or something. I don't know. I don't remember anymore. And he's just like an asshole the whole time. I mean, that's like, and then based on what his Bankai can do, which is his Bankai, because it causes his sword to extend super fast, super far. But then the true ability of his Bankai is the ability to leave a shard of itself in an enemy and then spread through that enemy like poison and kill them, which is what he tries to do with Aizen before he gets fucking murdered. And so that's pretty freaky. I'm gonna put him up in maybe possibly, just because he's not like the ultimate mastermind with Aizen's plan, so I'm not gonna put him next to Aizen. Shinji's sort of in the same boat as Gin is, where he's always got this devious ass smile on his face, like he's always up to no good, even though Shinji's actually a good guy. Let's see, he talks like he's up to no good too, so that's even more points. Let's see, his Bankai literally what it does is that he basically covers himself in this cocoon, and then the cocoon emits this gas that causes anybody who smells it to have their perception of friend and foe reversed. So he uses this to make enemies fight each other. It's really cool. It's also crazy to watch. It's very freaky. Let's see, his Shikai's ability is that he has the ability to it reverses a person's sense of surroundings in a different way, where like it makes them think that up is down and left is right and forward is backward. It's a really funny way to fuck with people. And then I don't know, Shinji's theme is even kind of freaky with like the weird with the theremin stuff going on and all that stuff. So, I mean, I'm gonna say that Shinji's a freakerton, dude. I'm gonna say he's a freakerton. I don't remember this guy's name, but he's the vice captain, or he's the lieutenant of Komamura's squad, and he ends up taking over after Komamura turns into a dog, like full blown, and can't be a Soul Reaper anymore. And so but I don't know anything about him. I know that he's always got those sunglasses on. He's always got the freaking pencil stash, and he's always got this crazy ass haircut with the weird things on the sides and the part in the middle. And he talks. He doesn't talk funny necessarily, but I'd say that the way he talks is definitely maybe a little bit more outrageous than the others. I'm gonna put him in the least. No, actually, I'm gonna put him in the wholesome category because like his respect for his captain, he shows like a lot of like humbleness. Because like after his captain can no longer be a captain, he has to take over the role of captain. But he doesn't even think he's worthy to be captain because he doesn't have Bonkai, as far as we know. And I'm pretty sure that's generally been a requirement in order for someone to be considered captain level, that kind of thing. Let's see. Jinbei, head captain of Squad 0. Guy invented all the words or whatever. That's like his lore. Is that like he... Ichibei, I think, is what his Zanpakuto's name is. It has this ability to it can just write words in air, and then those words become commands. Or like he can rewrite somebody's name, and then they'll turn into that thing. It's crazy shit. Ichibei, he's a nice guy. He's also kind of over the top in the way that he speaks, and he also kind of looks like he's got some devious ass smile that makes him look like he's up to no good, is what I'll say. And so, I mean, he's a cool guy because like he snatches up all the main characters not all of them. He snatches up some of the main characters like Ichigo for like the crazy training exercises that they go through, and that makes them unstoppable monsters and shit like that. And of course, his fighting abilities are crazy. Like like to be able to rewrite somebody's name and transform them into that thing. That's some freak shit. I'm gonna put him up and maybe possibly for now. Isane. Isane is wholesome. I gotta put her in the wholesome category. Ishin, I think is what his name is. It's Ichigo's dad. Ichigo's dad, who... So recently he's like mellowed out. He's much more mature. But like at the beginning of the series, he was like, his whole thing is that like he'd fight Ichigo to like toughen him up, I guess. He's like perving over Ichigo's sisters and his daughters early on in the series, and all that other shit, and it's just fucking... these dudes are freaky stuff. Like, he's a freakerton. I'm gonna put him up a freakerton. Kensei. So Kensei Mugaruma, I think is what his name is. He's captain of like Squad 9 or something like that, and he has a completely different haircut in 1,000 Year Blood War when he actually is a captain, which is kind of funny. And so he Kensei's like a pretty like, he gives off like, so his Shikai, his Zanpakuto, his Shikai is a knife. It's like literally a knife, and it does some cool knife stuff. He gives off these like, so like that's the Kensei gives off these like marine vibes, is what I'd say. Like he has like he just like the way he talks and how he acts and the way he fights, that kind of thing. Even his Bonkai is like a sort of thing. He's very much like he's a very close range kind of guy. And so what I think is that he I don't know that much about Kensei. I'm gonna put Kensei in the least category right now, because like the way his Bonkai works is kind of like it's kind of up there in how like kind of freaky it is. Or it gets him out of the wholesome category at least. All right. So this next guy is another filler captain, but just based on his appearance, I mean, he's got like a double piercing going through his bottom lip. He looks like he's huge, got a gigantic beard. This guy gets the least category. All right. The cooking lady. She's one of Squad 0. And her whole thing is that so the Squad Zero stuff is so she explains that the reason why Squad Zero members become parts of Squad Zero is because all of them have invented things that have revolutionized like the Soul Society and stuff like that. So her whole thing is that she figured out, I mean, I don't know, I don't remember all the details, but basically it's that she infuses the food that she cooks with like Riche or whatever like spiritual energy is or stuff like that. And so whenever Ichigo and Renji eat the food, both of them become more powerful than before just because of the way that the food is. And her whole thing is that like she loves cooking, she's super cheerful, and then like and she's also like comically like large, like she's a very like stereotypical fat chef. But then what happens is that after she cooks for a long time, her body slims down and she becomes like very attractive. And like then like so attractive she looks like a completely different person, and it kind of blows everybody away when it happens. And so I think she's wholesome. She's wholesome. Komamura. So Komamura automatically gets freak points because he's literally half dog. He's literally part of the werewolf clan, is what they say. And so, gosh, freaking, let's see. Komamura is actually going to go up pretty high on this list. Let's see. He's half dog. That's a point right there. Or he's half wolf, half wolf, half dog. He's the point right there. Let's see. For a long time, he was ashamed of being half a dog, so he wore a mask everywhere. Wearing a mask at all times is default freaky. So that's another point. Let's see. There's gonna be spoilers, but you got to do it. In the 1,000-Year Blood War, in order to get stronger, he goes to his clan's elder, and his clan elder teaches him a technique that he can use that'll make him more powerful. And he says that what he has to do is he has to rip out his own heart with his bare hands. He has to rip out his own heart himself, and then he can gain access to a more powerful version of his Bankai. So ripping out your own heart for the sake of power is mega freak shit. And then what that does is that transforms him into a human form where he looks like a really hot dude. And being a hot dude is freaky, is what I say. And then it causes his Bankai to change as well. And his Bankai is basically fucking naked now. That's also freaky. Like, it's just, I can't believe this. Komamura is actually our first freaky Okay, next guy. Another filler captain, unless this is, I don't know, he kind of looks like Captain Zaraki. But he must be a filler captain. So, I've got to say, he really looks like he's up to no good. I don't know what's up with everybody having these devious ass smiles on their faces, but he's gonna go in the least for right now. Captain Kyoraku. I don't necessarily think that Captain Kyoraku is freaky, but he definitely has other things. So he's like lazy, kind of. He's very nonchalant. He's a really nice guy. Let's see. His Zanpakuto, Katen Kyokotsu, I think is what its name is like a fan favorite, like thirst character. You'll see what I mean if you ever reach that point in the series. And so, let's see. He can do crazy stuff. He's one of the only two, I guess, yeah, when we meet him, he's one of only two dual Zanpakuto wielders. Him and Jushiro are both examples of that. Let's see. He drinks all the time. He's like an alcoholic, and he's just super relaxed. I love the pink thing he wears over his captain kimono. Or over his captain cloak. It's very stylish. Like, he really sets himself apart with how cool and nonchalant he is. And I don't really think he can go that high up in the freak ranking because of that. So I got to put him in the least. All right. This girl, I don't remember what her name is, but so her whole thing is that she's like actually like legitimately perverted. Like she reads like, you know, adult magazines all the time. Like every single scene where she's in, where she's not fighting, she's reading something like that. And it's fucking outrageous. And so, but I don't remember much about her beyond that. Again, can't think of any crazy, outrageous stuff that she does. So I'm just going to put her in the maybe possibly category. Rose. So Rose is like, from what I can tell and all the time I've seen him, he seems like he's actually kind of a regular guy. The only thing I'd say is that his Zanpakuto Shikai form is just this gigantic club with spikes sticking out of it, and that's like a masochist freak weapon right there, where you're gonna like it's crazy, like legitimately it's crazy. Wait, hold on a second. Is this Rose or is this Rose? Huh. I just confused myself. I don't remember anymore. I think this is Rose, actually, now that I mention it, in which case, who the fuck is... I know who this guy is. I just don't remember his name, I guess. Okay. Yeah, he's gonna get freak points for the whole gigantic mace with spikes on it. Yeah, he goes up in the maybe possibly. Mayuri. We don't have enough time for me to sit here and try to rattle through all the freak shit that Mayuri has done or is still currently doing. Because he's freaky. Okay. This guy, he's the next member of Squad Zero. I don't know what he does. Or that's a lie. Never mind. I don't know his name. That's what I was gonna say. I don't remember what his name is. But this guy is the inventor of the Zanpakuto. He created the Zanpakuto. Every single Zanpakuto that we see in the entire series was made by this guy. At least that's what they tell us. Like, and he's the owner of the Zanpakuto that's like the sharpest one in existence, and he says it's a failure because you can't sheath it. And so, like, it's literally like he, like, kind of, like, nonchalantly cuts the air and it freaking cuts everything in front of him in half, kind of effortlessly. It's fucking outrageous. Let's see. He's like a stereotypical funky black dude. He's a cool guy, though. Let's see. He is surrounded by... So whenever Ichigo and Renji get to his section of the Squad Zero barracks, they like go into like this club area where they're surrounded by like a bunch of hot girls in bikinis, and then after they leave there, he tells them that every single one of those women was not an actual person and that they were all Zanpakuto. And it kind of blows everybody's minds for a second. And he's like, you haven't been understanding your Zanpakuto, and you gotta all that stuff. And so, so because of that, so that's, hanging out with Zanpakuto that take the form of hot chicks all day is kind of freaky. He's not like, he gets pretty serious, but he is also very laid back at the same time. He kind of there's a theme with a lot of the captains where like they don't really want to do their captain responsibilities. Like Kyoraku doesn't care about doing his captain responsibilities. Ichigo's dad really doesn't care about doing his responsibilities. This guy kind of seems like he doesn't really care about doing his responsibilities, but so that sort of thing. I'm going to put him in the maybe possibly category is what I'm going to do for now. Captain Unohana. So she would lose points because she's the captain of the medic squad. And so she knows she's a master of healing stuff. Like she can heal people. She knows Kido, which is like magical spells that can heal people. But this is where it gets crazy. So Unohana was the first Kenpachi, and Kenpachi is a title granted to whoever the strongest fighter of the day is. So she was the first Kenpachi. And we learned that the reason apparently why she learned Kido, healing Kido, is so that she could heal herself, so that she could continue fighting because she loved fighting that much. And so, and like she was like ruthless and evil and all that bad shit. And like, so like in her Bankai, it freaking like she does this thing and it like oozes this red liquid that looks like blood that's like super acidic and all that other sort of stuff. I don't remember if they even showed it in the anime, but there's a part where no, I won't say it because that's like a big spoiler. But she's the first Kenpachi, and she does some freak ass shit. Let's see. Just being the Kenpachi and loving fighting so much that you want to do it for forever is freaky. Having your Bankai literally ooze this blood-like substance that causes your skin to melt off when you touch it is also some freak ass shit. So that's at least another point. Oh, let's see. I'm trying to think of something else. I don't actually know if I can get anything else. So, wow. I guess she's going to have to go in the maybe possibly category then. Okay. So next up we have the guy who may or may not actually be Rose. But so his whole thing is that he loves music. And like everything's like an art performance to him and all that other sort of stuff. He's very like frou-frou in that regard. But he's always got like this like maestro shirt on with the long flowing blonde hair. He's very much a pretty boy. So I'm going to give him a freak point for that. Let's see. So his thing is that he'll like mess with your senses in the same way that Shinji messes with your senses. But like he messes with your perception of reality by filling the air with noise that makes you think things are happening or not. So this is the way his Bankai works, is that he summons these dancers. They're known as the Dancers of Death. And what they do is that he sort of conducts them, and music will fill the air that'll make you think that things are happening around you that really aren't. And so like it's structured as a three act dance performance. And so the first one, basically, he feels the music makes you think that you're being like that you're like in like a whirlpool and you're drowning. Then the next one makes you think that you're on fire, and then the final one, which is I don't remember what it does exactly because I think something else happens before then. And we don't really get to see it exactly. But that's a really freaky ass Bankai, and I'm gonna have to put him. And then just look at that smile. He's just got another devious ass smile. I'm gonna have to put him up in the Freakerton category. Rukia. So Rukia is not very freaky. So after she has her training with Squad Zero, she gains some crazy ass new powers and other stuff like that. And she does like some explanation on how her Zanpakuto works. She has one of the ice Zanpakuto, and what she explains is that her blade doesn't emit like a freezing aura that just makes everything around it cold. What she says actually happens is that her Zanpakuto actually lowers the temperature of her own body, and that temperature of her own body is what affects everything around her. It's really powerful, but really dangerous for Rukia to use. And so what sucks about it is that if she's not careful, she could very easily kill herself using her own abilities, which is very double-edged sword type thing, which sucks. But so like it's like, yeah, she has the ability to she can just like lower or increase her body's temperature at will. And that's pretty freaky. Her Bankai causes everything around her in like just giant radius. I'm talking monstrous radius to get completely frozen solid. And she herself turns into like a beautiful ice sculpture. But if she moves at all, Like if she moves too fast or too suddenly or too much during that whole thing, she'll shatter to pieces. Is what they say. It obviously hasn't happened. And so like Byakuya tells her, be very careful and go very slow with defrosting yourself. That kind of thing. It was really awesome to see in the anime. So she gets, she's going to go in the maybe possibly category is all I'm going to say. All right, here we've got the next member of Squad Zero. Once again, I don't know what her name was. And we don't even really see much of her, except for towards the beginning before they actually go to where the royal palace is. And so, but her whole thing is that like she seems like she's like the research development scientist lady, where like she's got this golden hand that's like a robotic hand. So having a robotic hand is freaky already. Then she's got these like balls and stuff that she can use to transport people around, and she just moves fast as shit because she was able to do that without anybody noticing that she had even left. And then, she got this devious smile. The way she talks is very seductive, and that kind of thing. Like it's sort of implied that she trained Mayuri on like his own scientific sorts of things. Yeah, I'm gonna put her up in the Freakerton category. I think she's the freakiest member of Squad Zero. Soifon, current captain of the Squad 2 Stealth Squad. Let's see. So, Soifon she's really angry all the time, kind of. Like, she has a lot of, like, despite being the stealth captain who's supposed to be a master assassin, she has a lot of a lot of, like, non-stealthy outbursts and other stuff like that. She got some really cool abilities, though. She's also a gigantic simp for Kurotsuchi, which is understandable. Let's see, her Bankai. So it's funny. Her Shikai Raikoben. It's just this little needle thing. It extends off of her finger. If she touches you with it, you like fucking die instantly. That's basically what happens. And her Bankai is a big ass missile. I'm talking like a full blown ICBM missile. If you didn't know, she hates it because it's not befitting of somebody who's the captain of the stealth squad. She really doesn't do a lot of freaky stuff. Besides being a simp, and besides her, so killing somebody with like a little pricky finger thing, kind of freaky. Being a simp, also freaky. Having a missile for your Bankai that destroys everything is also freaky. Actually, second thought, she gets the Freakerton category. Here we've got our next filler captain. I don't know who the fuck this is. It kind of looks like the Soul King, if I'm being completely honest, but I know it ain't. Bro just looks sad. Unless that's a woman, in which case, lady looks sad. Wholesome. Okay, here we have the last member of Squad Zero. This is the healer guy. So this is the guy who taught all the healing stuff to Captain Unohana. But this guy is probably kind of freaky. The way he acts, like he's the guy with the giant pompadour. He's always got this freaking stick in his mouth. He's always got like his like chest and abs showing. Beyond that, he also he's got like crazy like he has pretty crazy like methods, but like they really really work. And so like his whole thing is that he has hot springs that you soak in, and they fix your body up and they put you back into perfect health. And it's like he has like one that's called like pure white hell, and the other one's called like pure blood hell or something like that. And you soak in one after the other until you're completely healed. And apparently they burn so hot that anybody who's not like outwardly powerful has to wear a special suit, because otherwise the hot springs would fucking kill them. That's crazy. That's freaky as shit. And so, gosh, I think he's gonna get the Freakerton just based on that alone. Tosin. So Tosin was the next. He was like he's the last member of like the subordination with Aizen, and his whole thing. So Tosin is blind. He can't see, and so but like he does great as a captain. I mean, he's a captain obviously, so he does great as a captain. Otherwise, he's also really good friends with Komamura, but he like betrays Komamura, and it's really sad. Yeah, so Tosin's blind, so he gets freak points for that. I don't remember what his Shikai does exactly, but his Bankai creates whenever he activates it, it creates this area of total pitch black darkness, and anybody who's caught inside has all of their senses taken away, except for Tosin. And so the caveat with this is that anybody who is touched, so anybody who's inside the sphere has all their senses taken away, unless they get touched by Tosin, in which case they gain their senses back. So that's the reason why, like, and we figure it out we see it the first time he ever uses his Bankai on screen. His Bankai is really only effective if he can take out the person with the first attack. Because he tries to use it on Captain Zaraki, and Captain Zaraki is just too strong for Tosin to take out in one hit, and so he pays the price for it. So Tosin's blind. His freaking Bankai causes a bubble of darkness that completely eliminates all of your senses. That's freaky as shit. He's going to get them maybe, possibly, because of that reason. Captain Hitsugaya. So Captain Hitsugaya, he's like a kid. He's like, the way people age in the Soul Society is different than the way that people age in the regular human world, so I don't actually know how old he is, but I know that he's much younger than everybody else, is what they say. He uses, so he possesses Hiyori Maru, and Hiyori Maru is like a really famous, legendary Zanpakuto that's like it chooses you, you don't choose it kind of thing. And so it chooses Captain Hitsugaya for some reason or another, because he's like a prodigy or whatever, and he something like that. He's probably going to be low down on the list. I mean, like he has the most powerful ice Zanpakuto is what Hiyori Maru is known as. Like it has the strongest attacks. It's got the strongest, most durable ice. That kind of thing. And so, there's a lot there. I guess there's more to explain. His regular Shikai can just use it to summon ice walls and that kind of thing. His Bankai does essentially the same thing, but where he sort of takes on the form of this ice dragon, because that's what Hiyori Maru is, the ice dragon. And so, like his hands and his feet get covered in ice. He grows ice wings out of his back. It's all pretty cool looking. Also very freaky. So he gets points for that. A thing that was up for debate a long time in the community was every time he uses his Bankai, there's these three things that appear behind him. And basically what it is that it's what we figured out early on is that it's a countdown. But what people didn't know is what is it a countdown to? Captain Hitsugaya admits that he thought it was just a countdown for how long he could use his Bankai for. What we actually learn is that after each of those things runs out, what actually happens is that he actually goes into he actually it causes Captain Hitsugaya to actually grow into an adult, and it just causes his Bankai to go into like its full power mode, making it even crazier and even stronger. So when you you literally like wait a few minutes, become an adult kind of thing. I think that's freaky. And so because of that reason, I'm going to put that shit up in the Freakerton category. Jushiro, captain of Squad 13. So Jushiro, his whole thing is that he's like sick all the time. Like he's never really like in good fighting condition. He's always sick and that sort of thing. And so And so this causes him to sort of be, you know, like he's not around for a lot of fights and stuff like that, or like it's difficult for him to like move around or something. I don't know. That's what they told us at the beginning. He's got the other duels on Zanpakuto whenever we meet him for the first time. And it's like it's like a water and storms on Zanpakuto, but it also like not quite. It's kind of complicated. From the explanation that I heard was like complicated. So being sick all the time is freaky. Like it's just like he's sick all the time. I know the reason why he's sick all the time, and I'm not going to say it for spoilers. He uses a dual Zanpakuto that's got 2 separate elements, which is pretty wacky and crazy. And that's whoa. Or I think it's that like there's not really 2 separate elements. I think it's just that. I think it's just that they appear to be 2 separate elements. That sort of thing. I'm going to put him up in the maybe possibly category because I know other things that I can't really tell you all right now because of spoilers. Captain or Kisuke Urahara, former captain, but not anymore for some reason or another. So let's see. He's like a lazy asshole. He's also a genius, but doesn't really show off his genius a lot of the time, at least especially towards the beginning. He's also possibly perverted towards Yoruichi. I called her Kurotsuchi earlier. I meant to say Yoruichi. Yeah, he's also possibly perverted towards Yoruichi. Let's see. He runs like a candy shop and beachwear shop or something like that, because that's like his like disguise out in the human world. Because he doesn't it's not that he can't be in the Soul Society anymore, or maybe it is what the point is. I don't remember exactly why he's not a captain anymore. Or why Yoruichi isn't a captain either. I don't remember what happened exactly. Let's see. His Zanpakuto is Beni Hime, and so his Bankai, what it allows him to do is it allows him to just reconstruct and reform anything. So like it's good for like healing properties. He uses it on other things like that. It's that kind of thing. It's also like a big lady, you know. So if you're into that. Let's see. I mean, I guess he's probably just going to go up in the maybe possibly category for me. I can't. I'm trying to. I know he's such an integral character in the whole series, but he doesn't do anything crazy like that. I mean, he's like a jokester. Like he doesn't really take things seriously whenever other people want him to. So that kind of thing. Yoruichi, former captain of Squad 2. She's the one that Soifon loves to simp over at all times. Like there's probably like a full blown lesbian love story going on here. So Yoruichi, she's very serious all the time, means business. But like when we meet Yoruichi for the first time at the beginning of the series, she takes on the form of a black cat that has the voice of a man. Now, I don't know if the voice of the man thing is some shit that she chose on purpose as an attempt to hide her identity. But that's still pretty freaky nonetheless. And so, with that being said, I'm gonna give her 2 points for that. Choosing to be a black cat and choosing to give yourself a man voice when you're not a man. Let's see. The first time she ever comes out of her black cat form, she just appears like full-blown ass naked in front of Ichigo, and it causes Ichigo to do the nosebleed thing or whatever. And she just kind of doesn't care, so that's pretty freaky. I mean, the pose. I'm going to have to put her in the freaky odd just for the pose. And finally, we have Captain Zaraki, Kenpachi Zaraki. So, like I said, Kenpachi is a title granted to the most powerful fighter of the day. or the most ruthless fighter, or something like that. So it was Captain Unohana. Now it's Captain Zaraki, and he's like, he's literally like a monster. Like he's so strong. He's so strong and so powerful that like he just like toward the beginning of the series we learned that he doesn't even know what his Zanpakuto's name is, or that Zanpakuto had names to learn. He just never ever knew that until after Ichigo and the crew came to the Soul Society for the first time. So then he starts learning it. Then he finds out its name is Nozarashi, and then he does training with Captain Unohana to unlock his Bankai, and then he has a crazy fight. He has crazy fights with other people in the 1,000-Year Blood War. I mean, so let's see. He's got that crazy ass hair, which that's not the hair he has in the 1,000-Year Blood War, but it's still crazy nonetheless. So he's gonna get a freak point for the hair, because ain't no fucking way that he really woke up every morning and did that shit and thought it looked good. Let's see. He wears this eye patch. And what's special about the eye patch is that underneath the eye patch, so basically what the eye patch does is that Kenpachi subconsciously nerfs or buffs his own abilities in order to give himself the most satisfying fight possible, because he loves fighting and he'll do it for as long as he can, or he'll do everything he can to make it as satisfying for him as he can. And so he wears that eye patch as another means of limiting his own power so that he doesn't kill his opponent too fast. And so I think wearing an eye patch and then subconsciously nerfing or buffing yourself is some top tier freak shit. And that's what I'm gonna say. We're putting Captain Zaraki in the freaky A tier. But here it is. This is our official ranking for which of the Bleach captains are the freakiest. If y'all enjoyed this video, please do freak things to the subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me. Leave a like on this video so you can have more of my content suggested to you in the future. Share this video with your friends so that they can get learned or something. Let's see. As always, right, fucking, what was I going to say? Right, the Patreon thing, just let me know down in the comments just let me know down in the comments what you think about the Patreon, if you would subscribe to the Patreon for this channel for $1 a month, just for that video every Sunday. Lastly, leave a comment down below letting me know what ranking you want to see next. Remember, it can be anything. The channel is called Rank Everything. Once again, thank y'all for watching. Until next time, have a good one.